Alright, here we go. So we're going to go through exactly how I do it. Now, if you do it differently, it's really up to you. If you got a different method, I don't particularly care. This is really to help people who are struggling right now with the gift card to friends glitch. It's a real pain in the butt. Now, I'm doing 2 simultaneous streams at the same time. So, in the description, you'll see the link to like the opposite point of view. So you'll be able to see both streams at the same time. You could do this with your buddy, so they can watch let's say they're receiving, they can watch the receiver video at the same time you're watching the giver video. So
Hello. How are you? Oh, what's up, Xavier?
this method is very specific to how I do it. There's probably other ways to do it. Again, I really don't care. All I want is for you guys to be able to do this and to have fun and to be able to give each other cars. So if you want to really have strong success, what I would recommend is that you have the exact same properties that I do. So let's start with what you do need in terms of settings and in terms of businesses. We'll go through settings, then we're going to go through businesses, and once we've gone through businesses, we'll go through vehicles required. And the whole goal here is to be able to give and receive cars. So it's a comprehensive tutorial on everything you need to in order to receive and to give cars. So again, if you have different methods, if you have different processes, if you have different things that you want to do, go ahead, do that. I don't care. This is really a in-depth tutorial so that you guys can get the best outcome possible to give and receive cars, and you have no problems. Because they've patched part of the glitch. So part of the glitch is patched. I have a bit of a sore throat, so I might be clearing my throat here and there, so bear with me. Alright, so let's go through the process. So number 1, settings. One setting that has changed in the gift card friends glitch is you have to be under performance RT or fidelity. So here you go to the map, like the pause menu, then you go to settings, display, performance RT or fidelity. I have mine on performance RT. What I recommend is that both the giver and the receiver have theirs on performance RT. If you're on performance RT. If you're going to be on fidelity, both of you have it on fidelity. Alright. Setting number 1. Setting number 2 is you both have to be friends. You have to be friends on PSN, or this will never work. In terms of settings, that's all you need. We will discuss vehicle settings, which is still within the settings, so we'll talk about it. So vehicle settings, under your blue interaction menu, you go to manage vehicles. You want to go to vehicle preferences and vehicle access everyone. So you go to blue interaction menu, go to manage vehicles, go to vehicle preferences. Remember, I'm doing 2 streams at once, so one of the 2 streams might be delayed depending on which controller is closest. So, but I will show the settings all the time. Sorry about that. Alright, so the next thing that you need is, in terms of businesses, what do you need? So in order to go to businesses, you go to your to the web in your blue, like in your mobile. You go to we're gonna start with the office. You both need an office. So you go to money and services, then you go to Dynasty Executive, and in here you're gonna have offices and agencies. You have to select offices. Now I have the Maze Bank Tower. That's because I do merging. Um, you can select a cheap office. You might already have a free one, depending on what you did at the beginning of your whole intro when you got into GTA. If you don't do merging, you can get the cheapest office. Go for it. All right. Now, secondly, when relating to the office, we're gonna go to my office. They'll show what business you need to buy in the office.
You're looking good. Really. There's the boss.
All right. So when you go to the office, you have to go to the computer, and then you have to select the option Vehicle Cargo. It's the middle option, so it's on your screen. Won't be too long if it's not on your screen just yet. So I'll repeat the steps. So you have to go to your desk and then onto the computer. And then when you get into the computer, it automatically sets you into a CEO, so nothing, you don't have to do anything there. You go to Vehicle Cargo. And on your screen are the vehicle cargoes that I own. So you can go on both the giver and the receiver side, and you can see they're both. So one of them, what is it called? I have a Davies Vehicle Warehouse, and I have a La Mesa Vehicle Warehouse. And here on the map, I'll show you where the Davies Vehicle Warehouse is and where the La Mesa Vehicle Warehouse. Those are the ones that I have. You can have different ones. You can also, with this method, you can both have the same vehicle warehouse. So if you already have vehicle warehouse, so far as long as you have all the settings that I mentioned, you're fine. You're fine. Okay, so that's for the vehicle warehouses. There's other vehicle warehouses you can have, and all of them are slightly different. If you don't own a vehicle warehouse, I would recommend the Davis one, not the La Mesa one. All right, and you know, if you already have a vehicle warehouse, um, this method will work. You're just gonna have to find some things on your own. All right, so next step is you need to buy a the next business is a bunker. And I'm really sorry if there's an echo. It's because I'm trying to run two streams at once, one from the receiver end and one from the giver end. So I can do it all in one stream. And you know, at the end of the day, you can just mute it and then just follow the steps that you're seeing on your screen if it's annoying you. But I hear an echo, you might not. I'm really curious why I hear an echo though. It's weird. Okay. So the bunker that I have is over here. It doesn't matter where you buy a bunker. If you don't do bunker missions, buy the cheapest bunker. Yeah, so on one of my accounts I have a really cheap bunker, and then on the other account I have bunker. But it doesn't matter where you buy a bunker. If you don't do bunker missions, it really doesn't matter. That's it. So you buy the bunker, and you have to go and do the bunker mission. Just so you're aware, you have to do that. Alright, so we have an office, we have a bunker, we have a vehicle warehouse. Those are the three businesses that you need to own if you're going to give and receive cars. Now the next step is vehicles. What vehicles do you buy? So all of the vehicles you're going to buy for this glitch are going to be in a Warstock cash and carry. Now, yes, you're going to have people telling you, oh, there's some cars you don't need to buy, and so on. So like I said, whatever, do whatever you want. I'm just showing you if you were both, as the receiver and the giver, you're both starting completely from scratch and you both wanted to give and receive cars, and you wanted to make sure that you were able to do both things right away. I'm giving you everything you need. So the next vehicle we're going to purchase, the mobile operation center. So you go to Warstock Cash and Carry on your mobile phone. It's going to be that little panel, the fourth panel on the bottom corner, right? The important thing here is that you need to make sure that Bay 3 is personal vehicle storage. Like you see on your screen. If you don't have that, it won't work. It'll never work, and you'll spend all day, every day, wondering if it's working. So if it's not working, you try it a few times. Check that because you might have changed it to like the weapons because you wanted to get specialized weapons or living quarters or something, you know. So you have to have personal vehicle storage. And come here to check. If you don't know and you see an empty bay, it'll look exactly like a personal vehicle storage. So don't go in the back of your MOC, look at it and say, oh, yeah, there's no weapon storage, so therefore it's a personal vehicle storage, because that's not true. It could be an empty bay. So the empty bay looks very similar to personal vehicle storage. All right. That's vehicle number 1, and then vehicle number 2 that you absolutely need under Warstock Cash and Carry again. Oops, hold on, Warstock Cash and Carry. It's going to be a vehicle that is part of the import-export DLC. And you're going to have to scroll down for a little bit before you find the import-export DLC vehicles. So if you're looking at your screen, scrolling down, So you have the option of any vehicle that if you look at a little silhouette, so if you look at the little silhouette, look where my middle finger is pointing, my little hand, it's pointing at a little silhouette. And there's a little number beside it. That number represents how many passengers you can have. The vehicle you purchase for this glitch to work has to equal 2 or more passengers, or it will not work. So if you're just worried about money and you accidentally buy the Blazer Aqua because it's cheaper, and you didn't want the Wastelander, it's not going to work. Alright, so the vehicles that do work are the Ramp Buggy, the Phantom Wedge, Technical Aqua, part of the Import-Export DLC. Right? You gotta make sure it's that. Some cars have the same name, but they're not part of the Import-Export DLC. You have the Armored Boxville, the Wastelander, the Ruiner 2000, the Rocket Voltic, and that's it. No, the Blazer Aqua is not going to work. So if you try to use this one, it's not going to work. You've been warned. It has to have 2 passengers or more. This is a great way to waste $1.3 million or $1.7 million. Because if you don't know not to use this one, then or you're either super rich or you're broke and you're just trying to be cheap. Those are the only 2 people that would buy this. So Ramp Buggy, Phantom Wedge, Technical Aqua from the Import-Export DLC, Armored Boxville, Wastelander, Rocket Voltic, and Ruiner 2000. Now the most common cars I think people use are Ruiner 2000, Rocket Voltic, or Ramp Buggy. And the reason is because they're very clearly defined. It's easy to know which cars you're talking about. Alright, so those are the vehicles you need to purchase. Now we're going to go through the process. The process I have is, I'm going to summarize what it is. The person who is receiving the vehicle is going to do the least amount of work. The person who is giving the vehicle is going to do the most amount of work. And there's a very clear and specific reason for this. And it has everything to do with the fact that the person who is giving the vehicle, they have to do this at their vehicle warehouse. So nobody knows their property better than themselves. So the person who is giving the vehicle has to do it at their vehicle warehouse. So I'm going to teleport there. But the teleport is easy. So because I'm going to be teleporting a lot, I'm going to add that as part of this whole process. In order to teleport, you have to go into your blue interaction menu. You go to Preferences. You go to Map Blip option. And then you set every single thing, every single option in the map blip option, you set it to custom show. So you have to go through every single option and subcategory of every option to make sure that they all show. If you're also going to merge, this is going to be very helpful. So it's already set, mine is already set to custom and they all show, but I'm gonna go back, map blip options, series mode, all series custom and they all show. Contact missions, all series custom and they all show. Then you have jobs. All jobs are custom and they all show. Then you have activities. All activities are custom, and they all show. Then you have rival gameplay. All of them are custom and they all show. Then you have properties. All of properties are custom and they all show. I'm gonna go through all of them. This is an in-depth, clear, like if you have exactly everything I have, you can do exactly what I'm gonna do. All stores are custom and they all show. Alright, so in order to teleport, it's very easy. Basically, you go to one of the blue dots that's near. I recommend the flags without the little car, because the little car could sometimes send you some pretty weird spot. But basically, you select a blue job, and a little start job button is going to appear. And then you press square to start the job, and then you go and search for players, and you search for Anahuac, A-N-A-C-K, A-N-A, Anahuac, W-A-C-K. Now you're not seeing this on my screen, but I'm doing it. Anahuac, A-N-A-W-A-C-K, 1P5. Done. You're gonna find a little Anahuac 1P5 that looks like a Joker. You go to them, and then you send them a little a little chat. And then once you send them a little chat, you leave the chat. And then you go back to game base. You find your little chat that you send out, and there's three little dots beside the little chat, and you add them to your favorites. Alright, once you've done that, you go to the view members that got three little heads on it, and you select Anahuac, and then you join Anahuac 1P5. You accept the first alert, decline the second alert, and accept the third alert. And then you're going to be teleporting. Now you also do the same step that I just mentioned for Anahuac 10P5. You find them in your search. You send them a little chat. You set that little chat to favorite. You go back to game base. You find that chat. And then you join their game through their profile. Alright, so with Anahuac 1P5, when you teleport, you can teleport. You have to accept the first alert and decline the second alert. And you'll be able to teleport faster, but you can't teleport with vehicles. With Anahuac 10P5, you teleport slower. And with Anahuac 10P5, you accept all the alerts. See? Here's my other character just teleported. With Anahuac 10P5, you can teleport slower, but you can teleport with your vehicle, which is very useful in moments where you want to teleport somewhere and you want your vehicle to come with you. Whereas for the other type of teleporting, it's just a little bit faster. Now, if you're going to be merging, knowing your Anahuacs is important, so this is why I'm adding it to the tutorial, as well as the fact that it just makes this whole process tons easier. So now what we're doing as part of the process is that you're going to be going to the person who's giving the vehicle warehouse. What I do, and I'm not going to recommend or suggest, I'm going to tell you exactly what I do, is once I'm in my vehicle warehouse as the giver, I hire the other person, the person who I'm giving the vehicle to, the receiver, into my CEO, and then I invite them into the vehicle warehouse. This prevents them flying around, creating cops issues, creating gang war issues. They just go straight into your vehicle warehouse. Even better, if you know you're going to do gift card to friends glitch, just straight up spawn into your vehicle warehouse, and then once you spawn there, invite your friend. And then once they're in your lobby, invite them into your CEO, and then invite them to vehicle warehouse. Once they're in your vehicle warehouse, once the receiver's in the vehicle warehouse, kick them out, and then the receiver has to go and request their mobile operations center. We're going to call it the MOC. Now, same as the vehicle preferences, in regards to the MOC, you have to make sure you go to manage, go to service vehicles, go to mobile operations center, and cab access has to be set to everybody. Hey Mitch. So cab access has to be everybody. Alright, so once the receivers requested their MOC, they have to send you a screenshot of where that MOC is. And then the gifter or the giver has to go pick it up. You doing, Mitch? I hope you don't hear an echo. So the giver has to go get the MOC, and the receiver just stands there. And if the MOC spawns pretty far away, it's good for the receiver to be looking at their map. Now, the gifter has to go and pick up the MOC. The receiver again just stands there and guides them, because the gifter doesn't see where the MOC has spawned. That's why the receiver has to tell them where it is. Now I'm getting mixed up with giver and receiver, so bear with me on that. Alright, once the MOC is there, the receiver has to go in the back, and this is very important. First of all, check with your Morse Mutual. That you don't have any kind of like vehicle that needs to be repaired that is in the mobile operations center. Secondly, once you've done that, go ahead and get into back at the MOC and check what vehicle's there. If you have a vehicle that you want to keep, then you need to replace it with a donor vehicle. So a vehicle that is going to be used to give to the lords of MOC gift cards to friends glitch. It's going to be the sacrifice you're going to have for the car you want to receive. So if the car that you have in the back of your MOC is not the one that you want to sacrifice, either go into get a free car, get a cheap car. So you go to Legendary Motorsports, get an Elegy, it's free for me, or you can go to also go to the Southern San Andreas. Get a free car. Get a free motorcycle. You need to have 2 passengers, by the way, same as the vehicle warehouse. Same as the vehicle warehouse, to have 2 passengers. So you'll notice that little passenger thing. It's very important, especially with bikes, because cars tend to have 2 passengers, bikes not so much. So if you're gonna get a bike, which is a really good idea, bikes are a good one. then you got to make sure that you get one that has at least 2 passengers. Alright, so that's it's done. So invite the giver into your MOC as the receiver, and then the giver sits in the back or in the passenger side of your vehicle. Once you're outside of the MOC, the giver has to put themselves in the pause menu, which is this menu. And then the receiver has to drive towards the back of the vehicle. Towards the back of the MOC, there's a blue circle. And as soon as they get a prompt to press right to store the vehicle in your mobile operations center, they press right once. That kicks out the giver. And then the giver can get out of the pause menu, and then the receiver has to back up to get away from the blue circle and then park the car away. Now if you're not comfortable as the receiver to do that because you keep getting into the MOC, have the giver do it, because the giver can't go into your MOC anyway. At this point, the giver has to go ahead and register as a CEO and invite the receiver into their CEO, and the receiver has to accept the invite. So as the receiver, you have to accept the invite that you received to go into the CEO, and then the gifter goes ahead and requests one of the special vehicles that you bought from the vehicle warehouse. And you go to manage vehicles, go into request special vehicles, and you got to find the vehicle you purchased from the ones that I mentioned at the beginning of the stream. You have to go get it. The receiver stands there. Now a lot of times you get to notice that you're almost doing nothing else but standing around as the receiver, and that's what you need to be doing. That's what helps the most. If you go around hitting people, being a nuisance, the glitch's not going to work, and then you're going to go do this over and over again until the giver gets frustrated, and then he's going to quit and not give you the car. So just stand still. Take your, do like me, I have to take my ADHD medication. Take your medication and just settle down. Alright, so now the giver has to go and pick up the receiver. The receiver has to sit in the passenger side. Now here's the really, really important bit. And every single vehicle warehouse is slightly different. You either have, every single vehicle warehouse will have a blue circle. And basically you have to drive to the garage door or around the blue circle if your blue circle is somewhere else. And you have to go and drive the vehicle in a very specific spot. For me, for this vehicle warehouse, oh, I messed up there. It's exactly where I drove there. But I messed it up because I wasn't supposed to get into the vehicle warehouse. But where I just drove in is where we need to go. Alright. So this might still work. Potentially it won't, but it might. So we're going to try it. So you saw exactly where I have to drive, but I have to do that with my blue interaction menu open. And the reason I need to see where that blue circle is because without my blue interaction menu, when my blue interaction menu is open, I don't see it, it disappears. Whereas the receiver can see it. So if they can tell you where the blue circle is, have them do that. But what I would recommend as the giver, you need to find your spots, because you can't rely on somebody else, especially if it's different people, to be telling you where your spot is. So for this vehicle warehouse, this is the spot. So I drive over the spot, and I remember it because it's got that little thing right in the middle there. That's my spot. And I can drive to it with my blue interaction menu open, and I can drive at it as many times as I want, as long as the blue interaction menu is open. So that's the important thing. Your blue interaction menu has to be open, and you have to hit that very specific spot. Now, at this point, the receiver opens up their blue interaction menu, and then as the giver, you close your blue interaction menu. And what you've noticed is I didn't actually get sucked into the vehicle warehouse. That's very important. At this point, the receiver needs to leave the CEO, and then they need to request a mobile interaction, their mobile Operations Center. They do this all sitting down. You can't get up. Once you request a mobile operations center, you can't get up as the passenger. And then for the giver, go into your blue interaction menu, back the car up, close the blue interaction menu, and go pick up the car where the receivers told you it is. And since it's across the street, I'm actually going to drive there. If it was at the arena, I would have teleported. So I drive to the MOC, and here's another really important part. If you never ever return your special vehicle, you leave it out. So when you're doing this part, you never ever return the special vehicle, because that'll mess up the glitch. You have to leave your special vehicle and then pick up the MOC. Or you pick up the MOC, you get out of the special vehicle, but you never return it. Like if you're gonna teleport to your spot, you leave the special vehicle out at this point of the process. Then the giver has to go and park the MOC back into their vehicle warehouse, at which point the receiver will get to the back of the MOC, sit in front of the blue circle. The giver can sit in the MOC, that's fine. And basically what the receiver will do is go press down on the D-pad, select the character that has a face, and then press circle to quit the story mode. And they do that 3 times, and then they enter the blue circle, and they have the option to enter alone. At this point, the receiver will have a black screen, and then the giver, you teleport over to the spot, which I will show you very shortly where their spot is. So I'm teleporting there, and you saw me like go scan through the map all the way to the top of the map. Alright, so from here, this is my vehicle warehouse, and this is the arena. So let's say you use the arena as a reference. You go straight up from the arena. If you've done all the steps like the map lip options and everything, you'll see all of these things as well. But let's say you haven't. You basically scroll all the way up until you see the Eclipse Boulevard apartment. Then you go 1 street down, and then you go right. And you'll notice that the spot is across from the hair salon, right across. That's where the spot is. So think about Eclipse Boulevard Garage, go down the street 1, and then go to the right. That's where the spot is. And then once you're there, you'll notice that Go Postal sign. Now from here, you can return your special vehicle. That's not a problem because your friend's glitched out at this point in black screen. Now the receiver's in a black screen and stays in the black screen this whole time. That's why they haven't done anything. And then you go and get the car that you wanted. I think it's the Banshees that I want to transfer over.
I'll get there as soon as I can. Aight, I'll get back to work.
And then you request the vehicle you want to give over. Now you can drop it from here. You can drive it over to the spot, which is in front of these numbers over here. It's really up to you. These days I'm lazy, so I just tend to drop the vehicle, and then the person who is glitched out, what they need to do is press down on the D-pad. You got to tell them that they can get unglitched. Press down on the D-pad, and they try to remember which character they selected and let go of both buttons. They'll get a quit menu. They got to select circle. So there's a warning sign that says, "Are you sure you want to quit this session? Progress will be automatically saved." Circle no. And then they're gonna end up in like this out of body experience. So they need to look around. Like, don't stress out, just look around, look for the car. Sometimes it takes a little while to appear. And then you get into the car by pressing triangle. And then all of a sudden the car is now in your MOC. Now at this point you invite the giver into your MOC. And the giver can wait until you put this into the garage you want. And the easiest way to do that is put a donor car in the garage you want. Or if you already have a donor car, select like request from your mechanic that car that you want to put into the from the garage in which you want to put this car. So for me it's Boulevard Apartment 1, Boulevard Garage, Vinewood Garage Apartment 1, Level 1. I have already a zombie donor. And then what I do as the receiver is, I know this zombie donor car is from the garage and the level in which I want to put the car that's in the back of the MOC. So I request it from the mechanic, and then I drive in the back of my MOC with the donor vehicle. And then they're going to switch places. So then the vehicle I just received is now in the Vinewood Club garage, and then the donor vehicle is now in the back of my MOC. And then we're going to rinse and repeat. So you drive out with the gifter in the back of or in the passenger side of the vehicle. The gifter has to press the pause menu. Gifter presses the pause menu. Then you drive the donor vehicle towards the back where there's a circle. Don't be a psycho. Like go at the speeds that I'm going. Press right when it prompts you to press right to store this vehicle to Mobile Operations Center. That kicks out the giver, who's still in the pause menu. Then you back up and you put away the bike somewhere away from pedestrians and traffic. At this point, the giver will invite the receiver into the CEO. And then the giver will go and get that special vehicle that we purchased from the import-export DLC that has 2 passengers and more from Warstock Cash and Carry. Now the receiver can just wait because they're going to have to get into the ramp buggy in this case that I have. And the giver goes ahead and brings the vehicle towards the receiver, who gets into the vehicle. Now again, I'm going to line myself up. Once I line myself up, that's when the giver opens up the blue interaction menu, drive into the spot, at which point when the garage door is hit, the receiver will open up their blue interaction menu, the giver closes their blue interaction menu. You got to communicate this information back and forth, because if you close your blue interaction menu before the receiver opens theirs, it's not going to work. At which point the receiver leaves the CEO while still sitting in the vehicle, and then requests their MOC, and then lets the giver know where that MOC is spawned. If it's spawned close and you want to drive over, as the giver you want to go ahead and open up your blue interaction menu, back up your car away from the blue circle so you don't end up getting sucked into the vehicle warehouse, and then go pick up the MOC. Now very importantly, like I mentioned earlier, you do not return your vehicle. A special vehicle cannot be returned at this point. You can only return it once your friend's glitched out, otherwise this won't work. So then the giver goes ahead and picks up the MOC while the receiver is standing very still, watching. Now there's 2 streams that are simultaneously going at the same time. Obviously that's what simultaneous means. And what's important about that is that if you want to know like the other point of view, you go ahead and look at the other stream. Alright, so now at this point the giver stays in the MOC, in the driver's seat, and then the receiver can go to the back of the MOC, sees the blue circle, gets close enough, presses down on the D-pad, selects the character with a head, presses circle to quit. It says, are you sure you want to quit this session? Progress will automatically save. Circle no. Press down D-pad, select the character, circle no. Do this 3 times. Now you can select the same character or a different character, it doesn't matter, as long as you do the story mode quit 3 times. At this point, you'll notice that you're in a blank screen as the receiver, and then the gifter goes ahead and goes to the spot. And what I'm doing here is I'm teleporting, which I mentioned how to do earlier. I also have a playlist, and I explain, I have a playlist on this channel that you can find. The playlist is for merging. And there's a part specifically for MOC, where I'd show on my screen exactly what that should look like. Alright, so I teleport to the spot. And then I request this, the next vehicle that I want to bring out. Now I use MOC 1 P5, which means that I teleport without the vehicle. And because it's a special vehicle, I can request the next vehicle right away as a personal vehicle. If I was too close to my special vehicle, I can't request a personal vehicle without returning that vehicle. Alright, so this is the second vehicle that I'm giving. Press down on the D-pad as the receiver. Try to remember which character selected earlier. Let go of both buttons at the same time. Are you sure you want to quit this session? Progress will be automatically saved. No, circle. Press circle. You're going to end up in this weird out-of-body experience situation. You look around, and then you head over to your car, to the car that's being gifted to you. When you're close to it, you press triangle to get into the vehicle. And then the vehicle's in your MOC. Now, if you were running out of time, and you received your vehicle, and you just had to go, you can't just leave. You got to make sure you drive out of your vehicle, drive out of the MOC with your vehicle, and then put the vehicle back into the back of the MOC. That will also save it. So if you couldn't try to store it into a garage, you're running out of time, you really had to go, or for any reason whatsoever that you wanted that vehicle in the back of the MOC, that's how you save it. If you just leave the session after receiving the vehicle in the back of your MOC, basically that vehicle is going to disappear. So as the giver, I'm just waiting so I can go ahead and start thinking about the next vehicle that I'm going to be giving. Now I already have two. I already have one of these vehicles, so I'm gonna replace the other one with this one. And you know, through this process, if you get quick enough, you'll end up doing. You're gonna end up with cooldown periods and stuff. So that's when you start to get really confused. If you do a lot of gift card and friends glitches during the cooldown periods, you get confused. Oh, what car was I looking for? What garage was I looking for? If you could write it down or find a way to remember, that's useful, because the person giving the vehicles, they already have the vehicles, so they don't want to be waiting around for garages to get organized while they're giving out vehicles. As the giver, sometimes while you're waiting, you can go ahead and bring out the next vehicle you're going to be giving, so it's already in your personal vehicle when you request personal vehicle.
You Need me to bring you a ride? I'll bring it by.
Because these are... Okay. Perfect. So I had a Banshee with a blank plate that I'm going to replace with the other Banshee, so that's perfect. Alright, so once I have my donor vehicle, go ahead and invite the giver over into my MOC as the receiver. Get into my donor vehicle, and then rinse and repeat. So the giver goes ahead, goes into the pause menu. The receiver drives the vehicle towards the the blue circle behind the MOC. Once it gets prompted to press right to store this vehicle into your mobile operation center, press right on the D-pad, and then drive the car away, store it somewhere. You notice I'm not doing anything crazy, I'm not driving like a psycho. It's because there's a lot of gangs around here, there's a lot of cops. So if you act like an idiot, you end up with cops or gangs after you, and then this whole glitch is gonna fail. Alright, go ahead. Then I send an invite to the CEO. The receiver accepts the invite, so it's the giver that sends a request. Giver gets their special vehicle from the import-export DLC. Picks up their special vehicle. The receiver's just waiting, away from traffic, away from the road. Now you might have noticed that I've already opened up my blue interaction menu. Once the giver knows exactly where their spot is, the sooner you open up the blue interaction menu, the readier you are. So go ahead, and I'm gonna go ahead and go into my spot, hit the garage door. The receiver tells me when they open up their blue interaction menu. I press circle to leave that blue interaction menu. The receiver leaves the CEO, requests their mobile operations center from while sitting inside of that special vehicle. Once the MOC spawns, tells me where to go find it. As you can see, I don't know where it is. That's why you need to communicate where it spawned. And then I open up my blue interaction menu as the giver so I can get away from the blue circle because I'm going to drive there. And then pick it up. I do not return the special vehicle warehouse vehicle. I just get into the MOC, I pick it up, and I drive it over. You gotta leave that special vehicle out. You cannot return it. Only return it once your friend's glitched in the black screen. Okay, once the MOC is there, the giver stays as the driver, doesn't leave. You don't need to get in the back of the MOC, you don't have to do any of that, just stay sitting in as the driver of the MOC. The receiver will do the story mode quit 3 times, enter alone, and they're glitched out. And then the giver goes ahead and teleports. Now you might not have this yellow spot to teleport, so teleport around that spot. Or you could drive there. You know where it is now that I mentioned it at the beginning of the stream. The receiver is again still in the black screen. And if you're watching this with somebody who's doing the same process, have them like start the stream at exactly the same time as you and then you're both basically following exactly the same steps. Alright, so I drop off the vehicle at the give car to friends glitch spot, and then the receiver presses down on the D-pad and then tries to remember which character they selected. Let go of both buttons. They do that with their right joystick. Let go of both buttons. Look around and then head over to where that vehicle is. And then when you get near it, press triangle to get into the vehicle. Then the vehicle ends up in the back of your MOC. Go ahead and request the next donor vehicle. Oh, so the next donor vehicle. And then if the giver is inclined, they can go, if you're doing another one, they can go ahead and bring out the next vehicle that they're gonna put at the spot. And I like to do that because I like to keep processes consistent, especially when I do this a lot.
I'm Johnny on the spot. I'll hook you up.
Basement level 4, Banshee GTS. So 8 seconds. I'm just gonna wait 8 seconds for the cooldown, and then I'll be able to visually see what car I'm gonna be giving out next.
I'll bring it to you.
Great, it's the red one. Then I have one more after this. Actually, maybe not. Alright, so then the receiver invites me into their MOC. Get in the back of the vehicle. They drive out. The giver gets into the pause menu. The receiver drives towards the blue circle in the back of their MOC. When they're prompted to press right on the D-pad, they press it hard once, kicks out the giver out of the vehicle, and then you carefully back up. The receiver backs the vehicle up carefully and parks it somewhere away from pedestrians and traffic. And then the giver goes ahead and invites them to the CEO. And the giver brings out their special vehicle from their vehicle warehouse. The receiver must accept the invite. You'll know you've accepted the invite if you're not sure. Has the giver, if they've accepted your invite, their MOC will disappear once they've accepted it. Then you'll know if it's not. And also obviously the color, your CEO color changes, but sometimes the colors are a little bit odd. Hard to tell. Alright, so now the receiver gets into the special vehicle warehouse vehicle, and then the giver goes into that, hits that spot, specific spot on the garage door. The receiver opens their blue interaction menu. The giver closes theirs. The receiver leaves the CEO, and then still sitting down, they request their mobile operations center. They'll let the giver know exactly where their mobile operations center has spawned. In this case, I'm going to be driving there, so I open up my blue interaction menu as the giver, and then I back up the special vehicle away from the blue circle, and then I drive over to the MOC. Again, I can never store this special vehicle until they're glitched out completely. So you gotta leave out your special vehicle in order for this glitch to work. Go ahead and pick up the MOC. The receiver goes to the back of the MOC. Now the giver again stays in the driver's side. The receiver has to do the story mode 3 times. I accidentally stepped into the blue circle, so I wonder if it'll still work because I stepped out. We'll find out. Quit story mode 3 times. Oh yeah, so it still worked. And then the giver goes ahead and drops the vehicle at the spot. And since I had already taken it out earlier, it'll be in my personal vehicles, my personal vehicle under managed vehicles. You can see it's the red one. So the receiver presses down on the D-pad, selects a character with the right joysticks, presses circle when they get the alert. Now sometimes it takes a few tries, don't be alarmed, and sometimes the car does not become visible for a little while. Oh, am I still in the same lobby? Oh, yeah, that happens sometimes. I disappear from the lobby. Do not fret. You can stay glitched out. This is interesting for those maybe. You can stay glitched out by doing story mode a few times, every 15 seconds or so. I'm going to set this to last location, and then I'm going to accept the invite. And then with my other character, I'm just going to stay glitched out by doing story mode quit a few times, because I unglitched and there's no car. So if you're watching on the receiver end, you'll notice that I'm doing story mode a few times while I'm glitched out. But I'm glitched out, but I unglitched, but I'm still in that out of the black screen, but still glitched. So by doing the story mode a few times, I can stay in that state indefinitely until my other character came back, and then I was able to still pick up the vehicle. That's an advanced glitch method. Now I'm gonna go see if my character has a black Banshee, because I think both of them had a black Banshee. So I may not need to receive the next one. Oh no, it doesn't. Interesting. It says it has a red one. That's annoying. Oh, so I must have done a blue and red one on this account. Oh no, that's level 3.
You need something, huh? One of your rides? Let me know. It's coming at you.
Alright, so as the receiver, sometimes you do kind of need to figure out which cars you're going to get. If anyone watching, I hope this is helping and informing you on the steps you need to take. It's very odd. The wrong bank, she wasn't here. Alright, so as the receiver, this is the next one I'm going to be... Sorry, as the giver, this is the next Banshee that I'm going to be giving.
Hey, you know Mel's having a party later.
And the receiver is just selecting a donor vehicle from the garage in which they want the current Banshee to go into. So I got this from garage number 4. And I want the Banshee in the back to go into garage number 4. Sometimes it could be a little bit tricky, like you accidentally get the donor car from the wrong garage. So every once in a while you might get confused, like I definitely will. Alright, so once the vehicle that I want to give out as a donor is in the back of the MOC, I go ahead and invite the giver if I'm doing back to back, which I am. Alright, back to back. The receiver drives out. The giver sits in the passenger side of the vehicle, goes into the pause menu. The receiver goes towards the blue circle, presses right when prompted only once, backs up, parks the car somewhere gently, and then gets ready to get into the special vehicle. The giver invites them to their CEO, requests their special vehicle from the vehicle warehouse. The receiver accepts the invite. You'll know you've accepted the invite, or the giver at least will know, because the MOC will disappear. So go get my special vehicle from the vehicle warehouse. As I do that, I'll notice the MOC is disappearing. Alright, so then the receiver gets into the passenger side of the special vehicle. Again, earlier I need to line myself up to make sure I go exactly over that blue circle, which is slightly to it's close to this thing here, this little ramp thing here. Drive there, hit the garage door, receiver opens up their blue interaction menu, receiver leaves the CEO, still sitting down, receiver requests their mobile operations center, their MOC, from, again, still sitting down, and then we'll let the giver know where that mobile operations center has spawned. I'm going to drive there, so I'm going to open up my blue interaction menu as the giver, close it when I'm away from the blue circle, drive my special vehicle over. Again, I never return the special vehicle until I'm giving out the other car, until my friend's glitched out. Get into the MOC, leave the car there, do not return it. Drive the MOC over to the special vehicle warehouse. Stay in the driver's side. Do not get out as the giver. The receiver runs over to the back of the MOC when they're close-ish to the blue circle, and then they select characters in the story mode. They let go of the joystick, and then they press circle to not go into story mode. And then you do that 3 times and enter alone. The receiver is now glitched out. The giver goes to the spot where he's going to drop off the give card to friend's vehicle. Now teleport, again, teleporting is very easy. You just have to be set up. If you want to know more about that, all my playlists for merging, I go in detail exactly how to use ANOAC, how to save ANOAC, and in order to, so you can save it, and in the stream, at the beginning of the stream, I explained teleporting. Alright, so I request my personal vehicle because I've already taken it out to see it, to make sure it was the right car that I wanted. And it spawned over there. Now the receiver will go ahead and press down on the D-pad, select the character with the right joystick, even though they don't see anything. They'll get an alert. Are you sure you want to quit this session? Progress will be automatically saved. Press circle for no. They're in this like weird out-of-body experience. Head on over to the vehicle that you want to receive that has been dropped for you as a receiver. Get into the vehicle, and now it's in the back of your MOC. That's it. That's all there is to it. Anybody have any questions? This is probably the best method. If you get really good with this method with somebody with friends, you're going to be able to do tons and tons of gift card friends glitch, because you're saving so much time in this method. You're not driving around, mostly teleporting and so on. So I'm going to do more gift card to friends glitch, but from a different warehouse. So I will stop the stream and I will see you soon. Thank you, everyone.